You're looking at a brown bottle that costs less than a cup of coffee. Right now, it is sitting on a shelf in nearly every pharmacy in America. Most people use it once, maybe twice a year, then forget it exists. The Amish in Holmes County, Ohio used to rely on it for nearly everything. Laundry, food storage, garden work, cleaning, animal care, even keeping drinking water fresh. And according to researchers today, many of those old uses were based on principles science would later confirm in laboratories decades afterward. The first time I noticed it was in an Amish farmhouse outside Berlin, Ohio. I had gone there during the middle of July. The air outside felt thick enough to drink. 92 degrees, humidity climbing, not a breath of wind moving across the fields. Inside the house was different, not cold, not air conditioned, just clean. Everything looked clean. The countertops, the floors, the washroom, even the smell was different. No chemical cleaners, no artificial fragrances, no shelf lined with 20 different bottles promising 20 different solutions. I remember standing near the kitchen table when I noticed a familiar brown bottle sitting beside a wash basin. Hydrogen peroxide, 3%. The same bottle you can buy almost anywhere for a few dollars. I pointed at it and asked the farmer's wife what she used it for. She laughed. Then she asked a better question. What don't we use it for? That answer sent me down a rabbit hole that lasted months, because the more I looked, the stranger the story became. By the end of this video, you're going to see why one inexpensive bottle replaced dozens of commercial products in Amish homes throughout Pennsylvania and Ohio. You're also going to learn about a forgotten government report from the 1960s, a scientific discovery that changed how researchers view oxidation and sanitation, and a household secret that may save the average family hundreds of dollars every year. But first, I need to show you why hydrogen peroxide became so important in the first place. The compound itself was discovered in 1818 by French chemist Louis-Jacques Thénard. At first, nobody knew what to do with it. It looked like water. It poured like water, but it behaved differently. Hydrogen peroxide contains an extra oxygen atom that makes it unstable. That instability is exactly what makes it useful. When hydrogen peroxide breaks down, it releases oxygen. That oxygen attacks many forms of bacteria, mold, fungi, and organic contamination. The result is a cleaner surface without many of the harsh residues associated with stronger chemical cleaners. The Amish did not need a chemistry degree to understand this. They simply observed what worked. For generations, Amish families favored tools and materials that served multiple purposes. One tool, many jobs, one ingredient, many solutions. Hydrogen peroxide fit perfectly into that philosophy. A single bottle could replace multiple products. That meant less expense, less waste, less dependency on outside suppliers. And that matters when your goal is self-reliance. Now here is the first use that surprised me. Laundry. Most Americans spend hundreds of dollars every year on stain removers, whitening agents, odor eliminators, fabric brighteners, and specialty detergents. The Amish often handled several of those jobs with hydrogen peroxide alone. A small amount added to a wash load helps break down organic stains and odors through oxidation. Blood stains, grass stains, food stains, sweat stains. The bubbling reaction many people associate with first aid is the same process helping break apart stain molecules in fabric. Researchers studying textile treatment later documented similar oxidation effects in commercial laundry applications. The science arrived. The Amish were already doing it. Then came hack number 2. Kitchen cutting boards. This one caught my attention because nearly every household owns one. Think about everything that touches a cutting board. Raw chicken, raw beef, fish, vegetables, fruit, moisture, food particles. The surface becomes a gathering place for microorganisms if it is not cleaned properly. Many Amish households developed a simple routine. Wash the board, spray hydrogen peroxide, allow it to sit briefly, rinse, done. No expensive specialty cleaner, no scented antibacterial formula, just oxygen doing the work. Hack number 3 involved produce, and this one appears repeatedly when talking with older Amish families. Fresh fruits and vegetables were often rinsed using diluted peroxide solutions before long-term storage. The goal wasn't perfection, the goal was preservation. Anything that reduced spoilage meant less waste. Less waste meant more food available during winter, and winter planning is something Amish families think about constantly. A basket of apples that lasts longer matters, a crate of vegetables that stays fresh matters. Every percentage point counts when you're feeding a household through the seasons. Then I discovered hack number 4, the wash basin. For generations, Amish families have maintained large utility sinks, used for everything from cleaning tools to washing work clothes. Instead of buying specialized sanitizers, many relied on periodic peroxide treatments to freshen surfaces and control odors. Again, one bottle, multiple jobs. A pattern was starting to emerge, and then I found the use that made me understand why so many families kept peroxide within arm's reach. Water storage, not complicated filtration systems, not expensive equipment, simple water storage. Because what researchers eventually learned about hydrogen peroxide and oxygen release would transform how many people think about keeping stored water fresh. And what I discovered next explains why some Amish families considered this little brown bottle more valuable than half the cleaning aisle combined. That's where the story gets interesting. The more time I spent around Amish families in Holmes County and Lancaster County, the more I noticed a pattern. Hydrogen peroxide was never treated like a miracle product. Nobody talked about it as if it could solve every problem. Instead, they treated it the way they treat most tools. If it works, use it. If it doesn't, don't. That practical mindset is exactly why so many of the old peroxide uses survived long after the rest of America moved on to specialized products. And the next group of uses explains why some families considered a single brown bottle more valuable than an entire cabinet full of cleaners. Let's start with hack number 5, the toothbrush jar. Most Americans replace toothbrushes every few months, but few people think about what happens between brushings. A damp toothbrush sitting in a warm bathroom becomes the perfect environment for microbial growth. Many Amish households developed a simple habit. At the end of the day, toothbrushes went into a small cup containing diluted hydrogen peroxide. Nothing fancy, no electric sanitizer, no UV light system, just a simple soaking solution. The idea was straightforward. Keep the brush clean before it goes back into your mouth. Scientists studying peroxide's antimicrobial properties decades later would confirm why this approach made sense. The oxygen released during decomposition creates conditions that many microorganisms struggle to tolerate. Again, the laboratory arrived years after the habit already existed. Hack number 6 involved something almost every homeowner fights at some point: mold, particularly in damp basements. If you've ever walked into an old basement during summer, you know the smell, that heavy, musty odor that seems to settle into the walls. Many Amish homes have root cellars, storage rooms, and lower-level spaces where moisture naturally collects. Older families often sprayed peroxide directly onto affected surfaces before scrubbing. The bubbling action helped loosen organic material while simultaneously cleaning the area. Was it perfect? No, nothing is, but it was inexpensive, accessible, and easy to use. Most importantly, it reduced the need for expensive commercial products. Then came hack number 7, the refrigerator trick. Now remember, many traditional Amish homes operate differently from modern households. Food preservation has always been a major concern. Before modern refrigeration became widespread, families had to find ways to extend freshness wherever possible. Some Amish homemakers used diluted peroxide solutions to wipe shelves, storage containers, and produce bins. The goal wasn't simply cleanliness. The goal was reducing spoilage. Every extra day of freshness mattered. A gallon of milk lasting longer mattered. Fresh vegetables staying usable mattered. When you're managing food for a large family, waste becomes expensive very quickly. Hack number 8 surprised me: the laundry basket. Not washing clothes, the basket itself. Think about what accumulates inside a laundry hamper: sweaty work clothes, farm clothes, wet-a-wells, socks. Moisture and organic material collect day after day. Many Amish families periodically sprayed peroxide inside storage baskets and containers to control odors before they became a problem. Simple, cheap, effective, and completely consistent with their philosophy of solving small problems before they become large ones. But the next use may be my favorite because it shows how differently the Amish think about household maintenance. Hack number 9, window cleaning. I know what you're thinking. Why use peroxide on windows? Because many traditional households viewed cleaning through a completely different lens. Instead of buying separate products for every surface, they preferred versatile solutions. Small amounts of peroxide mixed with water were often used during seasonal deep cleaning routines. The result was a clean surface without heavy fragrances or residues. One product, multiple functions, less money spent, less clutter stored, more simplicity. That philosophy appears everywhere once you start looking for it. Then I learned about hack number 10, the cutting tool treatment. Farm life means tools. Lots of tools. Pruning shears, garden knives, harvest blades, utility tools. Anything exposed to moisture eventually develops buildup. Many Amish gardeners cleaned cutting surfaces with peroxide before storing them, particularly after working with diseased plants. Today, plant pathologists often recommend disinfecting tools between cuts when managing certain plant diseases. The reasoning is simple: clean tools spread fewer problems. The Amish didn't need university research to understand that. Generations of observation taught the same lesson. Hack number 11 takes us into the garden itself. Seed starting. This is where modern science becomes especially interesting. Some gardeners use diluted hydrogen peroxide solutions when preparing seeds for planting. The treatment can help soften seed coatings and reduce certain forms of surface contamination. Researchers have studied similar applications in agricultural settings for years. The Amish simply incorporated the idea into practical gardening routines. Because when your livelihood depends on healthy crops, even small improvements matter. A slightly better germination rate matters. A stronger start matters. Everything compounds over time. By now, I was beginning to understand why that little brown bottle kept appearing everywhere I looked. Not because it was magical, because it was versatile. And versatility is incredibly valuable when you're trying to build a household that depends less on constant purchasing. But what I discovered next took things far beyond kitchens, gardens, and laundry rooms, because some Amish families found ways to use hydrogen peroxide around livestock, water systems, and food storage that most Americans have never even heard about. And those uses reveal why a product that cost only a few dollars became one of the most trusted tools on an Amish farm for generations. By this point, I had stopped thinking about hydrogen peroxide as a household cleaner. That is how most people see it. A bottle for cuts and scrapes, something that sits in the medicine cabinet until someone gets hurt. The Amish saw it differently. To them, it was a practical tool that solved dozens of small problems before they became expensive ones. And nowhere was that philosophy more obvious than on the farm, because once you step outside the house and into the barn, the economics change completely. A mistake in the kitchen might cost a few dollars. A mistake involving livestock can cost hundreds, sometimes thousands. That is why older Amish farmers have always paid close attention to sanitation, not because a government agency told them to, because healthy animals produce better results. The first farm use I kept hearing about was hack number 12, water trough maintenance. Every animal depends on clean water. Horses, cattle, goats, chickens, all of them. During summer, standing water becomes a breeding ground for algae and organic buildup. Many Amish farmers periodically clean troughs using diluted peroxide solutions during maintenance routines. The bubbling action helped loosen buildup while simplifying the cleaning process. Again, the goal was not perfection. The goal was prevention. A little maintenance now saves a lot of work later. That lesson seems to appear in nearly every Amish practice. Then came hack number 13, milking equipment. Now, before modern dairy regulations became as extensive as they are today, farm families often relied on straightforward cleaning routines built around hot water, scrubbing, and oxidation-based cleaners. Hydrogen peroxide occasionally became part of those sanitation practices. The reasoning was obvious. Milk is extremely sensitive to contamination. Any residue left behind can become a problem quickly. Clean equipment matters. The Amish understood that long before anyone handed them a printed guideline. Hack number 14 involved poultry houses. This one fascinated me because poultry farmers constantly battle moisture. Moisture leads to odors. Odors often signal bacterial growth, and bacterial growth creates bigger problems. Many older farm families periodically treated problem areas during cleaning cycles, not as a replacement for proper maintenance, as part of it. That distinction matters. One thing I noticed throughout all my research was that Amish households rarely look for magic solutions. They prefer systems, good habits, regular maintenance. Hydrogen peroxide was simply one tool within that larger system, and that brings us to hack number 15, the root cellar. If you've never stood inside a traditional Amish root cellar, you are missing one of the most practical spaces ever created. Cool, dark, stable, built specifically to preserve food. Potatoes, carrots, onions, apples, squash, everything intended to last through winter. Some families used peroxide solutions when cleaning storage shelves before harvest season began. The goal was simple. Start with the cleanest environment possible. Reduce spoilage. Protect the food supply. What surprised me was how many of these practices aligned with recommendations researchers would later make decades afterward. Not because the Amish were reading scientific journals, because practical experience often arrives at the same destination as formal research. The path is different. The outcome is similar. Then I discovered hack number 16, flower preservation. This one came from an Amish woman outside Lancaster County. She told me her grandmother would occasionally add tiny amounts of peroxide to flower water. The idea was to help keep the water fresher for longer. Today, florists sometimes use similar approaches involving oxygen-releasing compounds to maintain water quality. Again, the pattern repeats. Observation first, explanation later. Hack number 17 may be the most relevant for modern homeowners. Drain maintenance, not chemical drain openers, not aggressive acids, just routine cleaning. Many Amish households periodically flushed problem drains during cleaning routines. The objective wasn't unclogging major blockages. The objective was preventing minor buildup from becoming major buildup. There is a difference. Most people wait until something breaks. The Amish prefer preventing the breakdown altogether. That mindset saves enormous amounts of money over a lifetime, and money saved is money that stays on the farm. Then came hack number 18, garden disease control. Now this is where I need to be careful. Hydrogen peroxide is not a miracle cure for plant diseases. No serious farmer would claim that, but many gardeners have used diluted solutions around certain gardening applications for generations. Why? Because healthy plants matter. A single failed crop can mean months of lost effort. Anything that improves the odds is worth understanding, particularly when the cost is only a few dollars. Hack number 19 takes us back into the house. Humid summer storage, old trunks, storage chests, closet, areas where moisture occasionally collects. Many families periodically clean these spaces before storing blankets, seasonal clothing, and important household items. The reasoning remains exactly the same. Control moisture-related problems before they grow. Solve the small issue. Avoid the large expense. That principle may be the most valuable lesson hidden inside all of this. But the final hack surprised me more than any other, because it wasn't really about peroxide at all. It was about what peroxide represented. Hack number 20, the one-bottle philosophy. When I asked Eli why Amish families continued using hydrogen peroxide after so many modern products became available, he looked at me for a moment before answering. Then he pointed toward a shelf. One bottle. That's all he pointed at. He said something I wrote down immediately. Most companies make money by convincing you that every problem needs a different product. Then he smiled. We try to find one thing that solves 20. That sentence stayed with me because it perfectly explained everything I had been seeing. The peroxide wasn't the story. The story was simplicity. The story was independent. The story was reducing dependence on systems that require constant spending. And once I understood that, I finally understood why this little brown bottle kept appearing everywhere I looked, but there was still one piece of the puzzle missing. A piece involving the 1960s, modern consumer culture, and the reasons so many of these practical uses quietly disappeared from American households. And what I found there explains why knowledge that once existed in millions of homes somehow vanished within a single generation. By the time I finished digging into the history of hydrogen peroxide, I realized something strange. Almost none of these uses had actually disappeared because they stopped working. They disappeared because the culture around household products changed. Think about your grandparents' generation. Most homes kept a relatively small collection of supplies, a few cleaners, a few soaps, a few tools. The same products often served multiple purposes. Then something happened after World War II. The American consumer economy exploded. Companies stopped selling solutions. They started selling specialization. A different bottle for the bathroom, a different bottle for the kitchen, a different bottle for glass, a different bottle for laundry, a different bottle for pet odors, a different bottle for mold, a different bottle for produce, a different bottle for drains, a different bottle for outdoor surfaces. Suddenly, one household problem meant one new purchase, and then another and another. By the 1960s, advertising agencies had perfected the formula, convinced people that simple products were outdated, convinced them that modern problems required modern chemicals, convinced them that convenience came from buying more bottles. The result was an entirely new industry. Americans began filling cabinets with products their grandparents never needed. Meanwhile, many Amish families continued doing what they had always done. They asked a different question. Not, what should I buy? But what already works? That difference sounds small. It isn't. One question creates dependency, the other creates self-reliance. And nowhere is that difference more obvious than with hydrogen peroxide. A $3 bottle remained a $3 bottle. It could not be patented. It could not be heavily branded. It could not generate endless recurring purchases. The chemistry had been understood for generations. Anyone could buy it. Anyone could use it. Anyone could learn from it. That made it valuable to families trying to keep expenses low. Now, I need to be honest about something. Some of the old Amish peroxide uses have been supported by modern research. Others remain largely traditional practices passed from one generation to the next. The important lesson isn't that hydrogen peroxide is some miracle substance. It isn't. No single product is. The lesson is that practical knowledge often survives because it delivers value. The Amish did not keep these habits for 300 years because they were fashionable. They kept them because they solved real problems. And that brings us back to the question that started this entire journey. Why did one small brown bottle become so important? The answer has nothing to do with chemistry. It has everything to do with independence. Every Amish family I visited seemed to understand something that much of modern America has forgotten. Small savings compound. A few dollars saved this week, a few more next month, a few unnecessary purchases avoided next year. Decade after decade, those decisions add up. The average American household spends hundreds of dollars every year on specialty cleaning products. Some spend considerably more. Many of those products perform tasks that older generations handled with a much smaller collection of supplies. The Amish noticed that long ago, and because they noticed it, they never felt pressure to buy everything being marketed to them. That is why a bottle of peroxide sits next to wash basins, laundry rooms, storage shelves, garden sheds, and workbenches throughout Amish country. Not because it is magical, because it is useful. Useful things survive. Complicated things often don't. When I returned to see Eli one final time, I asked him whether younger Amish families still kept hydrogen peroxide around the house. He laughed. Then he opened a cabinet. There it was. Same brown bottle, same label, same simplicity. He picked it up and said something I will probably never forget. My grandfather used this. My father used this. I use this. Then he set the bottle back on the shelf. No dramatic speech. No lecture. Just a fact. 3 generations. One tool. Still doing its job. That moment explained more than all the research I had read. The Amish are not trying to preserve the past. They are trying to preserve what works. Those are very different things. And maybe that is the real lesson hidden inside these 20 peroxide hacks. Not that hydrogen peroxide can replace every product in your home. Not that every old method is automatically better, but that useful knowledge deserves to be questioned before it is discarded, because sometimes the cheapest solution is still the best one. Sometimes the thing sitting forgotten on a shelf already solves the problem, and sometimes the people everyone assumes are behind the times are the ones quietly holding on to practical knowledge the rest of us abandoned years ago. The bottle never changed. changed, the chemistry never changed, the oxygen never changed, only the marketing changed. The Amish understood that. Now you do too. I want to hear from you. How many of these peroxide uses had you heard of before today? And which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below, because I've read every single one. And if your grandparents ever used hydrogen peroxide in a way that nobody talks about anymore, tell us about it. Those old household tricks are disappearing faster than most people realize. Hit subscribe if you enjoy uncovering practical knowledge that has been quietly pushed aside over the years.